Hi guys, today I'm going to show you my top 20 designer budget fragrances. Not only designer, by the way, there will be the celebrity fragrances, mass market fragrances as well. However, I think all these fragrances deserve attention because they are quite unique. Many of them smell like niche fragrances. They smell much more expensive than they cost. They're quite long lasting in terms of performance. They perform really well. That's why I think they deserve every single dollar that you pay for them. And if you're looking for such fragrances, then this video is for you. I wanted to make top 10, but I couldn't because I just have too many of them that I want to talk about, and I decided to take 2 fragrances from each brand. So you will see 2 of each in today's video. And I will try to make it fast because 20 is quite a lot. And the first fragrance in today's list is a fragrance that I really love. It's from Burberry My. It's called My, so it's from Burberry. The cap, by the way, imitates the button of the classical Burberry trench, and this bow is made, the ribbon is made of fabric, the trench fabric, the real one. So the fragrance itself is really beautiful. It also imitates the way how the garden after the rain smells, the English garden after the rain. It has the floral notes, fruity notes, and in terms of fruits, I can smell here definitely a very prominent Queen's Accord that I love. It has rose, it has freesia, it has sweet pea, very prominent one by the way. It has geranium. So altogether, I would say it really imitates the smell of the garden after the rain. It imitates the smell of the soil because it has some patchouli, the wet soil. So altogether, really beautiful fragrance for any occasion and any weather. Though I believe it would be the best for it was created for the rainy days. I was wearing this when I traveled to Ukraine, to Kiev. But I was wearing it during the rainy days as well as sunny days, windy days, any weather, and it was perfect. It has a very good longevity, really amazing one, very prominent and beautiful sillage. So I think this is best fragrance, one of the best, I would say, from Burberry to my taste. That's why I included it to my list. It's quite classical fragrance. The other fragrance is in a bit different category, but I also think it's one of the best from this brand. I would say from Burberry, these 2 I consider the best, and this one is Burberry Brit Rhythm. I have this bottle with this it's Brit, and it's older formula, and it's gorgeous. This is a very fresh, powdery fragrance. It's very fresh, clean, and powdery at the same time. Very feminine. It's a bit creamy, but it also has some laundry aspects, very prominent. It's a bit soapy. Like, it smells like you've just finished showering. You just step out from the bathroom, and altogether, it's very pleasant. I would say these 2 fragrances are signature worth fragrances. So it has the notes of lavender, it has aldehydes, it also has some powdery aspect, as I said. It has some iris roots probably. It has some vetiver, but altogether it smells really expensive and really nice. The quality of this fragrance is top notch. It doesn't smell any synthetic at all. And it lasts forever. This is one of the freshest and laundry fresh type of fragrance that has a note of laundry freshness that has an eternal longevity. The performance of this fragrance is amazing, as well, by the way, as a Burberry My. So highly recommend you to find it in the old formula, because I can guarantee you that the old formula is gorgeous. It's gorgeous. The next brand is the budget designer brand is Klein, and I think one of the best from this brand is Euphoria, but not just Euphoria. It's a flanker of the OG. It's Euphoria Amber Gold, and I'm sure this is not the very famous flanker. I don't see people talking much about this fragrance, but I love the bottle, by the way. The color of this copper metal is very beautiful, and this is a very sweet fragrance, I must admit. Yes, but it's not the syrupy sweetness. It's not the like a sticky sweet syrup. No, it's like a honey. It's the sweetness of the honey mixed with plum. It has lots of woody aspects. It has lots of amber. It's like a melted amber mixed with honey. Like when you melt amber, if it's possible, it's like raisinous. When you melt it, it becomes like honey, and you mix it with the real honey, and this is what you have. It's liquid gold, I would say. Really nice one. Also amazing performance, very good projection, but this is a fragrance for the cold weather because it's very warming up. At the same time, it is quite luxurious, I would say, because it gives me the imagination, the pictures that created in my mind when I smell this are the pictures of gold or something made out of gold. So really nice one, quite unique one, not generic at all. It smells quite niche, I would say. And as well as the other one, which is already discontinued. I think the Amber Gold is also discontinued, but it's still available online, as well as this one, and this is a Reveal. And Reveal is also quite unique, very unusual, very niche-like type of fragrance. It has a very interesting saltiness. It's a bit salty. It's definitely woody. It has lots of sandalwood. It has ambergris. It has pepper. It has cashmere. It's very warm, cozy, a bit sweet. It's definitely sweet, but I don't know what kind of sweetness is that. I wouldn't say this is not definitely vanilla or sugar, not at all, but it's definitely sweet. And altogether, it has the smell of salty skin after the beach, after you swim in the sea. But this is not definitely the fragrance for the beach. It's very interesting. It smells more like a cold seaside. Not in terms that the fragrance is cold, it's warming up, but it is from one side kind of fresh, but this is not a typical freshness that you expect from the fragrance created for a beach, for a seaside, for a summertime. This is not a fragrance for summertime, definitely. Though even Olympia by Paco Rabanne, it's quite sweet. It has caramel, it has salt as well. That fragrance being very sweet at the same time can be easily imagined, for the seaside, for the beach on summer. I was wearing that one for summer, but this one is definitely for winter. I don't know how to explain that, but again, this is how I feel. But altogether, I would say it's a very unique fragrance and really deserves attention, and it costs like, I don't know, I bought it for $20, I think. Really cheap, but it doesn't have anything cheap in it. Believe me, I have about 300 fragrances, 300 bottles in my collection, all kind of, expensive niche fragrances. It doesn't smell cheap. It smells very close to those expensive niche fragrances. That's why I can highly recommend this fragrance as well. If you like very unique fragrances, the fragrances that has those niche qualities, not something really popular and generic, try this one. The next one is from Elizabeth Arden. This is Fifth Avenue Royale, and sorry, my bottle is broken because I was using it a lot and it fell down. The bottle is not really a strong side of the brand, but the fragrance is nice. It's really nice. This Fifth Avenue Royale, it has the suede accord, like leather-like, but very soft and velvety. It has some raspberry, it has some boozy aspect, it has some vanilla because it's quite sweet, but not syrupy sweet, just a little bit of sweetness. Altogether, it smells like niche fragrance. Believe me, it has a very, very good quality, and I used it quite a lot. My bottle is maybe 1/3 used, and I loved it. I loved it during the winter time because this is very warming up type of fragrance, and it ideally suited the sweaters. Like I was wearing it with a warm, dark, like black even sweater, and I don't know, it suited perfectly. Probably that's why the bottle is also black. Like black cashmere sweater and this fragrance, they are an amazing company. Also very long lasting type of fragrance, but it's quite intimate in terms of it doesn't project. You can smell it probably within the arm length. It doesn't have very long sillage. However, when I sprayed this one, I remember when I came to visit my mom, my aunt was there. When she hugged me, she said, "You smell gorgeous." What is that? Next summer when I visited her, I presented her with this fragrance and she loved it. Another fragrance that I also really, really recommend, that I really like, in spite of having lots of other very complicated, fresh and different type of fragrances, I still think that this is a very, very good freshie. This is White Tea from Elizabeth Arden, and it is so nice. It is so beautiful. It's really a fragrance of tea mixed with some freshness of the sea notes, like the seawater. It's a bit salty. It has definitely some powder aspect, and like the mate tea, it has I think it's like a bit of vetiver. It has some eau de cologne like accord, but it's not bad. It's in a good way. Altogether, I would say it's fluffy, white, powdery, feminine, a bit sweet because it has some tonka. At the same time, very, very fresh. Really nice fragrance, really feminine and beautiful, and again it has a good longevity, by the way, especially on clothes. It's a perfect fragrance for yourself when you are at home, when you want to feel clean, fresh, cozy, feminine, and it relaxes. It's a very relaxing type of fragrance. That's why I think it's called White Tea. So nice one, really nice one. And I also used I would say 1/3, no, half. I used half of this bottle because I love it. This is one of my favorite fragrances for in-house. The next brand that I adore, and I think this is one of the best budget brands, budget designer brands for fragrances. This is Lalique, and this is Lalique Le Parfum. And this is also a very, very unique and very beautiful perfume combination of notes. It has lots and lots of tonka beans. It's woody, it's a bit ambery, but at the same time it has bay leaf accord that adds that uniqueness to this fragrance. It smells really like a niche fragrance, and I love the warmness of this and sweetness of the tonka beans and the woody notes and this amber. So gorgeous fragrance altogether. I highly recommend it. Also, I don't know what happens now, but I have quite an old bottle. It was one of the first fragrances that started my collection. That's why, again, this is probably the old formula. It's very long lasting, it's very projecting, potent, and in case if I overspray, I have a headache because it is so strong. That's why if you have an old, if you manage to find the old bottle, the old formula, be careful with overspraying. Don't overspray. The next one from Lalique, also very unique. I would say Lalique is unique. That's rhyming. This is Perles de Lalique. And this is a very cold green type of chypre. It's like ice. It's like sharp ice for me. That the very sharp one, a very cold one. It has the notes of rose, iris, because it's a bit powdery. It has lots and lots of patchouli, oak moss, and vetiver. It's like a feminine fragrance with a masculine notes. It's quite feminine, but at the same time you can feel that behind that there is lots of charisma and character. There is a spine behind that. This is a fragrance with a spine. It's really different. It smells, I don't know, it smells very unique to me, and smells really like a niche fragrance. It's not commercial at all. It's not generic, not popular. You really need to love unique fragrances to like this one, but I think this is a perfect quality, amazing fragrance, really beautiful. People who live in a colder region say that the best time for this fragrance is winter, because in winter it smells like with this fragrance, you smell like a white queen from Narnia Chronicles. And yes, this is that type of fragrance that will definitely suit that white witch. The next brand is Moschino, and one of the best I think from Moschino is Moschino Toy Boy. This fancy and playful and not serious at all bear. But the fragrance itself is completely different. The fragrance is very serious, I would say. It's very interesting. I think this fragrance and this fragrance, they are from the same family. They are not the same, but they are from the same family. Like, they have the same message. Also quite confident. It will suit both men and women. This is very unisex type of fragrance. I wear it myself, my husband does as well. We both enjoy it. It has the notes of magnolia, it has pear, it has rose, and I would say rose is the most prominent here. And it has underneath, it has some darkness. I don't know whether it's a vetiver or patchouli there, but definitely has some greenness and darkness underneath. It smells really niche. Like, this is not a typical designer fragrance. It's not sweet at all. It's quite fresh. I wouldn't call it fougere at the same time, but I would call it some sort of chypre, I would say. This smells to me like a modern chypre, and it's really nice. Really, really interesting. You would never expect that type of fragrance in this type of bottle, because the bottle doesn't reflect the juice itself, not at all. The juice is really niche quality, serious, sharp, cold, I would say at the same time. Very confident type of fragrance. So I don't know if you can say about like confident fragrance about that. The fragrance for a confident person, whether it's a man or a woman, but really nice. For me, it smells like chypre. Also very long lasting and very projecting. I remember when my husband was wearing this fragrance, every time he entered the room, even without seeing him, I knew that he entered, because it smelled, the sillage of this fragrance is really long. Another fragrance that my husband adores on me and gets crazy when I wear this is Moschino Fresh Gold Couture, and this is a fruity floral fragrance with a rhubarb note, and I love rhubarb note, and this is really interesting. It's a mixture of, I can smell here some mango, some peach, I can smell some white flowers here as well. It's a bit sweet. I think it has tonka beans and vanilla, but altogether I would say, being a little bit on a generic side, at the same time it's still quite interesting and worth to try. If you're looking for something fresh but at the same time sweet, floral, fruity, with a prominent rhubarb note which gives some tartness to this fragrance and makes it more interesting, makes it more unique, then try this one. And I don't know what is so special about this fragrance, but my husband just loves it. He adores it, and every time I wear it, he always notices it, compliments, and you know, he follows me like this. By the way, also quite a long-lasting type of fragrance. I need to mention this. Another one is Lovely from Sarah Jessica Parker, and this is a celebrity fragrance, but I must admit that this is quite a good one. It's really good. It's cold, it's fresh, it's pale pink, it's feminine to the highest degree, I would say. It's musky, it's floral, it's really, really similar to Narcisa Rodriguez for her, but Narcisa Rodriguez for her is very dense, it's thick. The musk there, it's quite dense, like it's like cotton. You cannot see through that. This one is transparent. This fragrance is more airy, light. I would say it's a perfect fragrance for springtime, even for summertime. My sister used the whole bottle of this one and she loved it. She also loved the Narcisa Rodriguez for her. After that, she got this one and she also used the whole bottle and she loved it. It's not that long lasting, let's say, like Narcisa Rodriguez for her. However, again, it is more summery, more spring type of fragrance, less aggressive, more airy. For that price, I think you can always refresh. The other one from Sarah Jessica Parker is a complete opposite to Lovely, and this is Stash. I have the oil form, and I think this is a very, very beautiful fragrance for all those who love woody fragrances as I do. It's quite masculine, I would say, probably because it's so woody. It has lots and lots of different woods. It's not sweet at all. Some people compare it to furniture polisher, and I understand why, because it's really, really woody. Yes, and it smells like a newly polished furniture, even painted maybe. I love to layer this fragrance when I want to give some more masculinity and character to other fragrances, more feminine ones as well. By the way, as my sister, I also gave this to my sister and she liked it, and she said I combine it with the other fragrances, I layer them, and it's perfect, especially in the form of oil. It's perfect for layering on the skin. The next one is from Nina Ricci, and this is Mademoiselle Ricci, and it is so soft, so feminine. It's so nice. It smells like a cream, like a facial cream that we used to have in 90s, by the way, in a best possible way. It's rosy, it's powdery, it's sweet, I would say. This is rosy, powdery, sweet, but not super sweet. No, not sweet like the Monta roses are, not like that. It's a very subtle sweetness, very polite type of sweetness. Altogether, the fragrance is very fluffy. It's really feminine. It's really tender, I would say. Really nice. Yes, it reminds me a little bit of 90s, and I think that's the fragrance when it was released in 2000, maybe. But it was quite popular, by the way. But it's really nice. And it smells expensive, I would say, and the price of this one is funny. I think it's already discontinued. So if you are a fan of this fragrance, you need to rush, because you know, it was discontinued, and it starts to disappear from all online discounters. The longevity is quite good. The projection is within arm length. I think it's a perfect signature worth fragrance for every day. The next fragrance from Nina Ricci is something completely opposite to the first one. This is L'Extase Rose Absolue, and this one is very sensual, dark, sexy type of fragrance, where the rose is quite smoky, velvety, dark, syrupy, jammy type of rose. It's completely different from this one. This one is very young, innocent, fluffy, daytime type of fragrance. This one is dark, mysterious, I would say, from some point of view, smoky, sensual, sexy type of fragrance that will perfectly suit the evening, like open gown or something like that. So really nice fragrance. For this price, it's a steal. And by the way, the cap is made of metal. It's not plastic. The quality of the bottle is also very, very good. Nice one, long lasting type of fragrance. The performance is amazing. It has a very long projection. So amazing fragrance for evening. I would say the Mademoiselle is for day, and this one is definitely for night. Another celebrity fragrance, and also from Jessica, but this time is Jessica Simpson, and this is Fancy. I think this is a really, really good fragrance for those who love the juicy couture type of fragrances, sweet ones, pear and caramel and vanilla and tonka beans, something really sweet, but at the same time not overloaded with a syrupy sweetness. It's quite girly, it's quite feminine, I would say. It's not synthetic. This is what makes me so happy, because when I spray this one, I don't feel any spirit, and I don't smell any synthetic notes here, though I know this is a pure synthetic, but the quality is really good. Again, my bottle is quite old. I don't know what happens now, but anyway, really nice one. If you are looking for the alternative for the juicy couture fragrances that do not last long, and I think this is even, probably it's the same price, but maybe even cheaper, but definitely longer lasting type of fragrance, you should look at the Fancy. My daughter likes to wear this one. If this is for my daughter, the other from Jessica Simpson is definitely not for my daughter, but for me. This is my recent discovery, and this is Night, Fancy Night. The darker and completely different thing, but this is definitely for me, because this is my favorite combination of very green, very earthy, but dry at the same time. Patchouli with amber, with vanilla, with woody notes. This has some papyrus. I don't know how to pronounce that word. Papyrus. It has some papyrus note. Yes. This has also papyrus note. It's quite unique, and it smells very, very similar to my favorite Prada Amber. And when I realized that this is a similar fragrance to the Prada Amber, I straight away decided to buy this one. I saw this fragrance before, but I never realized that it is so similar to Prada Amber, and only through Prada Amber I discovered this fragrance, and I'm so happy. It's a bit more thick. It's thicker than Prada Amber. Prada Amber is more airy. This one is thicker. It's darker. Maybe I wouldn't say it's that long lasting. I would say this is like a Prada Amber Intense, but it's not very long lasting. It lasts maybe on the clothes maybe one whole day. The next day you can only smell just the faded base probably. I expected more longevity from this fragrance, however still it is very nice. It smells like niche. It definitely does. It's not for everyone. It doesn't mean that this and this fragrance is for the same person, because again, this fragrance is more for my daughter, but this is definitely for me, because I enjoy this much more than the other one. That's why if you have similar tastes with me, if you like Prada Amber, then most probably you will like this one. But I know there are many people who do not like this fragrance. They do not understand. They think it's too complicated, it's too different, it's too unique. But not for me. I love it. The next two fragrances will be from Roberto Cavalli, and for me they are from the same family. This one is Paradiso Assoluto. This is more berry plus citruses plus floral plus woody vanilla type of fragrance. It's really nice. It's really nice, but it's very potent. It's very strong type of fragrance, but really good. Some people say it's quite similar to Good Girl by Carolina Herrera. I'm not a fan of Carolina Herrera fragrance, but I'm a fan of this one. It's really nice. Something in this fragrance, maybe because it's not too sweet, because it has some tartness. It's like a semi-sweet, it's sour sweet. That's why I like it a lot. But it's warm. The tartness, it's only in the beginning when it has citrusy like top notes. When they fade, the base and the heart and the base of this fragrance is quite warming up vanilla, tonka, and quite sweet. But this is a beast mode type of fragrance, lasts forever, and it's quite loud, and the projection is really there, and it's quite long, as well as this one. This one is Gemma Assoluto, and for me this is a bit more fresh and more sour, I would say. And this fragrance is also compared to Carolina Herrera Good Go. I don't know which one is closer, again, because I smelled Carolina Herrera, I tested it, but I never bought it because I never liked it. But this one I purchased blindly and I like it. I wouldn't say that I love it. I would say I prefer the red one to blue one, but blue one is also nice, I must admit it. It's really nice. It's probably fresher, more sour, but this one is a bit sweeter. I would say this suits more to the colder seasons, this one to the hot ones, the warmer ones. So the last pair will be from Zara. One of my favorites is Ebony Wood. I love this fragrance. It's really beautiful. It has only 3 notes mentioned on Fragrantica. I think it's pink pepper, it's ebony wood, and it's cloves. I can smell here also tobacco. I can smell here sour cherry, like lots of different woody notes, like it's like packed with woods. It's beautiful. It's really nice. It smells much more expensive than it costs, definitely. It lasts long, especially on clothes, so the next day you can still smell it. It's quite prominent. So highly recommended to try if you like woody, a bit sour, tobacco, cherry, spicy. It's really spicy, a bit masculine, I would say, but I would say it's totally unisex type of fragrance, because I know lots of women who found out about this fragrance from my video, and they loved it. They loved it. It's really nice. Highly recommend. And the last but not least for today is the one from Zara, and it ended up my favorite, although I didn't expect this will be my favorite fragrance from that line, and this is Elegantly Tokyo. This is a white floral fragrance that I think is one of the best white florals from Zara, because it smells really well. It's gorgeous. This is jasmine, first of all. For me, this is a pure jasmine. The pyramid says it has some lily, but for me, I would say this is a pure jasmine. It has some woody aspect. It has some akigala wood on the base. This fragrance fills the room, and not only one room. I spray this inside the house, and my husband outside in the garden can smell this fragrance, and he says, "Did you spray this one?" And I'm lucky because he loves this fragrance. He loves the way it smells. So it's quite sexy, it's elegant, it's classy, it's beautiful. It smells really expensive. So it's long-lasting, very long-lasting type of fragrance, but quite loud. So even one little tiny spray under the clothes, it fills the room. So be careful with this fragrance. Don't overspray. But again, this is one of the best, I would say, from the mass market white florals that you can find. Amazing fragrance. Highly recommend for that price. And I think that's it for today. I hope this video wasn't too long. I hope it was interesting, informative, and useful. If it was, I would appreciate all your support with the likes. If you haven't yet subscribed to my channel, I invite you to do so. Don't forget to press that notification bell to be notified about my next release. I try to make videos every week, every Saturday. If you are interested to look at the fragrances that I haven't published yet, haven't shown in my videos yet, you can see them on Instagram. So if you like the content, don't forget to follow. And I want to wish you the great weekend and an amazing week ahead as always, and I hope to see you in my next video. Bye everyone.